Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for January 31, 2024. Please remember to leave a comment, like, and a share. And in the news this evening, 2 farmers die in St. Elizabeth crash. 2 men died following a crash on the Ridgepen Main Road in St. Elizabeth about 9:36 Tuesday night. The men have been identified as 62-year-old Winston Sinclair and the 50-year-old Vernon Forbes, both farmers of Little Park and Round Hill districts in the parish. It is reported that Mr. Forbes, who was the rider of the motorcycle, with Mr. Sinclair as the pillion rider, were heading towards Watchwell when they collided with a Toyota Axia motorcar traveling in the opposite direction. One of the bodies was found in bushes in the area, while the other was seen on the side of the road. The driver of the vehicle received injuries and was rushed to hospital. The news was informed that the motorcar driver is suspected to have been the cause of the crash as he failed to keep left. The news has also learned that the driver has since checked himself out of hospital and is being sought by the police. Opposition demands answers regarding non-disclosure agreement between NHD and the DEXIM. The parliamentary opposition is continuing to apply pressure on the government in relation to a non-disclosure agreement between the National Housing Trust and the developer, DEXIM Holdings Limited. In a statement Tuesday, the NHD sought to explain that confidentiality was consistent with the process of mediation and is a requirement of the rules of the court. But speaking at a press conference Wednesday morning, attorney and MP caretaker for Northeast St. Elizabeth, Zulika Jess, maintained that the issue surrounds the secrecy shrouding the NHD's settlement agreement with the developer.
We're not asking for disclosure of what took place at mediation. We are asking about disclosure as it relates to the settlement agreement that was entered into on November 29, 2023. And that settlement agreement specifically contains a non-disclosure clause which prohibits the National Housing Trust, as well as DEXIM, from commenting on the terms and the conditions of the settlement agreement. What is clear is that 200 NHD contributors have been denied the opportunity to own their own homes. And so the government has a responsibility to inform the public. When is it that the Prime Minister knew about the terms and conditions of the settlement? Because the Prime Minister is the minister with responsibility for the National Housing Trust.
Manchester cop injured in motorcycle crash. A police constable sustained leg injuries during a collision involving a service motorcycle on the Coolshade Main Road, Grove Place in Manchester on Tuesday. A police report said about 2:30 a.m. the cop was traveling easterly on the motorcycle assigned to the Manchester Police Quick Response Team when the motorcycle fell and slid into the path of a Toyota Wish motorcar traveling in the opposite direction. The constable received injuries to his left leg and was taken to hospital for treatment. Second, the Jamaican woman who fled the immigration custody in Antigua recaptured. Law enforcement authorities in Antigua say a Jamaican woman who escaped from the Department of Immigration has been recaptured. They say Donnelly Samantha Saman was apprehended on Tuesday night. She was one of 2 Jamaican women who had been on the run for the past week, having escaped from the Immigration Department's detention center, where they were being housed by breaking a bathroom window. On Tuesday, a magistrate court sentenced the other Jamaican woman, Tiffany Stephanie Howell, 30, to 7 months in jail for escaping lawful custody. Howell had earlier pleaded guilty to the charge that carries a maximum 1-year jail term. Saman and Howell were awaiting deportation to Jamaica when they escaped. Saman is expected to appear in court later this week. St. Catherine man charged for 2018 murder. A 36-year-old St. Catherine man has been arrested and charged for gunning down a man in bushes on Windsor Road in Spanish Town in December 2018. Lorenzo Harvey, otherwise called Lasha, a tailor of Spanish Town, was charged on Monday with murder, illegal possession of firearm, and illegal possession of ammunition. His court date is being finalized. He is accused of killing Jermaine Graham, otherwise called Dada Antefada, of Spanish Town on December 24, 2018. The Spanish Town police report that about 2 a.m., Harvey Graham and another man were in a vegetated area of the community when Harvey pulled a firearm and opened gunfire, hitting Graham. He was pronounced dead at hospital. Following an investigation, Harvey was taken into custody and the charges were laid against him on Monday, January 29, after a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. Earthquake unit appeals to persons to stop stealing and destroying equipment. The earthquake unit is appealing to members of the public to desist from stealing and destroying seismic monitoring equipment installed at its stations across Jamaica. Speaking in a recent interview with the news, network manager engineer at the unit, Paul Williams, said that over the years, several of its broadband and accelegraph stations have suffered theft and vandalism, albeit located in remote areas. He noted that the stations in St. Thomas, Trelawney, St. James, St. Elizabeth, and Westmoreland are among those affected. The main things that we lose from these sites are batteries and the solar panels. From time to time, they take some of the earthquake recording equipment and the wires or the copper that is used for lightning ground protection, said Williams. He informed that the pieces of equipment play an integral role in ensuring that the unit carries out its duties effectively. These are equipment that can save lives or provide information that can save lives in the future. So it is very important that people in these communities protect them because it is their tax dollars that purchase the items, Williams pointed out. The network manager/engineer informed that currently the unit has 14 broadband stations across the island, 10 of which were established through support from the Jamaica Social Investment Fund under its Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project. Additionally, there are more than 40 accelerographs installed at hospitals and schools island-wide. Williams said that the unit is funded directly by the government, and as such, the equipment belongs to the people of Jamaica and should be safeguarded. I am appealing to people not to remove the equipment because once you remove it, we have to find new funds to replace them, he pointed out. The earthquake unit is a research unit at the University of the West Indies Mona campus. The unit serves as Jamaica's hub for earthquake monitoring and seismic research. Suspect in killing of paralegal still in custody as a probe continues, police say. The suspect held in connection with the contractor-style killing of Sandra Risden, the paralegal who was shot on Washington Boulevard 2 weeks ago, remains in custody. Superintendent Sherika Service, head of the St. Andrew North Police, told the news that no charges have been laid against the suspect as investigators continue their probe. She said investigators recently obtained a court order to keep the man in custody while the investigation continues. The man was captured in the community of Waterhouse on January 18, hours after Miss Risden, 63, was gunned down in traffic. The attack was carried out by men on a motorcycle. The hoodlums were challenged by a policeman, leading to an exchange of gunfire along the busy thoroughfare. But the killers managed to escape in the peak hour traffic. A motorcycle which reportedly transported the killers was also seized. The cops are searching for a second suspect in the case. St. Elizabeth farmer shot dead, brother wounded during robbery. The St. Elizabeth police are searching for clues which could lead them to a group of hoodlums who robbed and shot 2 farmers during a pre-dawn ambush on Wednesday in the parish. The incident occurred in the community of Newcastle shortly after midnight. The deceased has been identified as 69-year-old Desmond Wright of Williamsfield District. His 67-year-old brother was also wounded in the attack and has been hospitalized. It is reported that the farmers drove into the Newcastle community to purchase cattle when they were pounced upon by 6 gunmen who demanded cash. The farmers handed over $600,000 to the men, who then opened fire at them, hitting Desmond in the chest and his brother in the leg. The wounded siblings were transported to hospital, where Desmond was pronounced dead. Investigators are urging people with information on the suspects to contact the Black River Police.